What's the most Sprite dust you could get from a single Sprite? Well, firstly, in order to figure that out, you need to get a Sprite that will give you the most dust. So you're gonna need a Sprite with a few factors. Firstly, and pretty obviously, you need a max level mythic Sprite, like a Grim or a 0 Point. But that's not all, because there's also the gummy version that gives you 20% more Sprite dust. So at a 1 in 100 million chance, this is gonna be your best bet for getting the most Sprite dust. But then you can also get even more dust by doing a boosted extraction. So with all of these factors, what is hypothetically the most dust you can get from a single Sprite? And for all of this, you'll earn around 3,160 Sprite dust, which is barely anything. If you want to make Sprite just by just extracting this Sprite, you will have to do a boosted extraction on a max level gummy 0 Point Sprite around 60 times. Which is pretty much impossible since you only get 10 of these things. And even if you were to do this with the gummy 0 Point Sprite, it would pretty much be for nothing because extracting Sprites normally would probably get you there faster. Welcome back to Useless Fortnite Facts, the one-off video that I finally made a sequel for inspired by the P-Jiggles Useless Match Facts series. So you may be confused why we started off with a fact that could be somewhat useful because it gives you Sprite dust. Well, that's because Sprite dust is pretty much a useless currency, so when you think about it, this is a useless fact. But fine, let's actually talk about a fact that does pretty much nothing. Let's talk about kicks for a second. We all love kicks, giving you the ability to add drip to your skin, but what a lot of people don't know is that thanks to kicks, we have a canon sock color for almost every skin in the game. By sometimes using the normal kicks, it depends on the skin, but almost always when you're using Crocs, the skin will actually wear socks. Which, you know, is a pretty normal thing to hide a Fortnite skin's feet, but they went out of their way to actually give each skin a unique sock color. A lot of the times, it will be a standard black, but a lot of skins also have a custom sock color that matches with the skin. And this is such a nice detail when you're trying to make combos with skins. However, nobody notices this. Like, almost nobody notices that each skin has a custom sock color that matches with the skin. It's just a really weird detail, but it's also really nice because it just makes the skins look a lot better. It's just such a weird detail because why would you be looking at a Fortnite skin's feet? And even then, why would you be looking at multiple to the point when you could tell that each skin has a custom sock color? Alright, moving on from Battle Royale facts, let's talk about other modes for a second. Starting off with... Man, Ballistic is the dead relative that you just can't really let go of. I've got two different things to say about Ballistic for this video. Starting off, I need to say, stop saying Overdrive is from Showdown. This is from Ballistic. Yeah, so you probably know the Overdrive effect from Fortnite Showdown with its Overdrive grenades. But Overdrive was added to Ballistic almost a full year before Overdrive grenades were added to Battle Royale. But that's not even where Overdrive originates from, because Overdrive isn't even from Ballistic, because a year before Ballistic even released, we got Fortnite Festival. Now, just listen to me for a second. While it doesn't seem like the effect that is a knockoff Nitro comes from Festival, there is actually an effect called Overdrive in Festival, and when you trigger it, it gives you double points in the mode. And it even has the exact same colors as the Overdrive effect in Ballistic and Showdown. Meaning, these are pretty much the same effect. Overdrive, known from the Overdrive grenades, comes from Fortnite Festival. Alright, and now I need to do a quick correction for last video. While we're talking about Ballistic, last video I said that their drum gun had the most reskins, with a whopping 11 different drum guns. But that's not even the truth, because there is a 12th drum gun in Ballistic. I repeat, a 12th drum gun has been spotted. Yeah, so as it turns out, Ballistic has had its own unique version of the drum gun that I just completely forgot about. And this drum gun is its own unique drum gun. It has a unique model, and it works completely different to any other drum gun because, well, I mean, it's in first person. This thing has 80 bullets, and when you fire it, you just spray and pray, making the ballistic drum gun a pretty solid drum gun. Alright, let's finally move on from talking about dead modes and talk about a mode that is... I mean, man, your death is coming up soon. Fortnite OG probably has the most lazy key arts known to man. They just slap the Battle Pass characters onto a background and call it a day. But it turns out these backgrounds are actually references to the original Battle Pass key arts in Chapter 1. So yeah, it turns out the basic, boring gradient backgrounds have been references to the basic, boring gradient backgrounds that were in Chapter 1. I mean, most of them, but like, look at this. It turns out Fortnite actually was still pretty lazy, but at least they were kinda lazy in a cool way, I guess. Alright, let's finish talking about the metaverse modes with... well, man, this is the dead mode that people can let go of. Rocket Racing. Now, this mode has been dead for... oh my... it's been dead longer than it's been alive at this point. And it turns out, when Rocket Racing was alive, it actually had starter packs. Did anyone buy a Rocket Racing starter pack? Like, anyone out there? Is there anyone with a Rocket Racing starter pack? These starter quest packs for Rocket Racing would grant you a skin and a car. These packs only really lasted for as long as, well, Rocket Racing lasted, which was 3 seasons. But interestingly, the pack for Chapter 5 Season 3 actually included the Machinist car from Chapter 5 Season 3 as a car body. Alright, let's switch back to Battle Royale themed facts for the last 2 facts of the video. And did you know, there are weapons in the game that are almost the exact same as others, and nobody notices? For example, take the Enhanced Assault Rifle from Chapter 6 Season 4. A weapon that, actually I don't think anyone knows about this weapon. But then, take the Embiggened AR from the Simpsons season. Literally, the next season. And these guns are the exact same, and nobody's ever noticed. And then, you take items like the TNT Mythics. These are reskins of the Kinetic Blade, and these are also reskins of themselves. And since these things are in creative, this fact is technically relevant. But these are literally just the Kinetic Blade. Even with Chapter 7, when you take the Hollow Rush SMG, this thing was almost the exact same as the Reload exclusive Red Eye SMG, but with a different scope. These things even shared the same weapon icon for half the season until it finally got a different icon. How do you not even make a unique weapon icon for this thing? And somehow, nobody noticed that these were the exact same weapon. I think that might have been because nobody knows the Red Eye exists. And now for the last fact of today's video. Did you know Fortnite has physical copies? Well, probably. However, did you know Fortnite still makes physical copies to this day, even having physical copies on the Nintendo Switch 2? A console that released last year. So I think most people know about the Save the World era Fortnite, when this game was a paid PvE game that cost money. So it makes sense to make an actual disc for your paid game. But then that didn't last very long when Epic made this a free Battle Royale game. So how do you make a physical copy of a free game? Well, Epic managed to figure that out because Fortnite continues to get different physical versions of the game. Not like download codes or anything, but like, this is a physical box with Fortnite. And when you open it up, it still contains a download code. So basically, these things would contain cosmetics, codes for cosmetics and some V-Bucks. But to be fair, some of the stuff that you get in these packs is pretty good. And still, Fortnite continues to release these packs of physical copies of the game. Once again, even releasing one for the Switch 2, that's how recent this was. Anyway, 5k subs and I'll buy a copy of Fortnite. And with that, that wraps up another Fortnite facts. Did you learn anything? Well, good, because none of it will help you in the real world. But if you really want to take the knowledge you learned from this video, well then, I don't know, man, just go play Fortnite. I mean, like, yeah, go play Fortnite. Springfield's back in Reload. Just go play it. That's how the video ends. And no outro, no anything. Just go play Springfield Reload, man.